Hi, Barry Chase, the senior partner of Chase Lawyers, welcoming you to part 3 of our music video checklist. Now, if you've not had a chance to watch parts 1 and 2, I recommend you do so before you get to this part, because certain things I'm going to be talking about will assume that you've got some idea of what we were talking about in parts 1 and 2. So I think it's to everyone's benefit if you go back and you consult those if you haven't had a chance to. We're at the point, actually, where you've already written down your creative concept for your music video, and you've talked to producers about that, a short list of producers. You've also boiled down the tremendous number of responses on a Google search for local music video producers, and you've got it down to, let's say, five possible candidates that you've done some fairly in-depth research on, maybe even called their office and been able to get an idea of how professional they are in that sense. How do they answer the phone? Do they get back to you when they say they're going to get back to you? Do they leave you on hold forever? Those kinds of things that say to any consumer, this really isn't the place I want to be with, because they're going to behave like that on the shoot itself. You've also talked to others who may have used them, and you found out how things really went on the shoot with them, because you want to know, are they organized? Did they waste a lot of time? Were they professional in how they handled you? Or was it sort of a chaotic mess? So these are all things you should already have in mind. Now, having done this and having impressed each of these 5 shortlist producers with your creative concept and the fact that you want to fulfill your creative concept, which is going to be a little unusual to them, you then need to take their contracts. They will propose contracts to you. The prices will vary. Let's assume they're between $3,000 and $8,000, which is a decent price for this sort of a thing. You probably don't want to take the cheapest one too seriously. At the same time, you don't have to pay necessarily for the most expensive one. You want to see whether they cluster, and in that case, they probably cluster around $5,000. And then you submit those agreements to a lawyer. There's no real way to avoid that, because there are certain clauses that are key to these contracts. For example, is there a clause that makes it clear that you own the music video once it is completed? Because if there's no such clause, the videographer and or the producer will own your video, and you don't want that. You want to own your own video. You want to control the usage of your own video. You don't want to have to go running to someone else to get a signature. So that kind of thing needs to be checked by an attorney. You also want to be careful that there's a confidentiality clause of some kind, because during the production, of course, people will see you pretty much in the raw. They will see you happy, not happy, frustrated, and all the rest off camera. And you don't want people on the production staff out there blabbing about what a jerk you are in real life, because that won't help your career either. So you really do have to consult a lawyer who's got some knowledge of both the production process and the legal ramifications of an agreement. Now, once you've done that, and you've got the recommendations of your lawyer or your changes, assuming that you can get those changes made in the contract between you and the producer that you like the best as a result of everything you've done, you need to prepare yourself. You need to avoid certain things. It's not a great idea to get real drunk the night before or otherwise be intoxicated when you show up at the shoot. It's a good idea to get a good night's sleep. It's a good idea to believe in your creative concept, which you should, because you've been living with it now for some weeks. So show up and ready to do your best and knock everybody out with what you're about to do. Now, again, if you want to review all these, go to 1 and 2, parts 1 and 2 of Music Video Checklist. You can review this as well. If you have questions about this, feel free to call me at Chase Lawyers. I'll be happy to talk to you without charge for a few minutes just to see what your situation is and maybe make some recommendations for how you should proceed. Nice to see you, and good luck in your career. So if you like this video, hit the thumbs up button below and let us know. Also, you can subscribe to the Chase Lawyers YouTube channel for more legal tips for those in the entertainment industry like yourself. And if you have other topics you want us to cover, please let us know in your comments below so that we can help you out in that way too. See you soon.